my name is Mojala and nobody asked me, but I'm going to be telling you about my Ielts experience from registration to taking the exams, and hopefully I'll update this when my results come out. So let's get into it. So just brief background about me. I'm a kind of person that I need to know the deadline of something. Like I need to know the deadline I'm working with so that I can effectively prepare. If not, I'm not going to be dragging my feet throughout because I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. When I know that this thing is happening like tomorrow, I know that I have to give it my all. So when I register for the exam, I registered to take it that same week. I registered on a Sunday the 13th of January, and I registered to take it, I think, Wednesday of that same week, Wednesday and Thursday. So I took my speaking exam on Wednesday at Ikeja, and I took my writing, listening, and reading on Thursday at the Zone Bagada. I took the paper-based version of the test, and I took the academic version of the test because I was trying to use to apply for school abroad. So materials for preparation. Before I started, before I even registered for the examination, someone had sent me 10-hour video, which I was watching like 1 hour today, 2 hours tomorrow of the video. At first, I will try to add the video on the screen here. So I had been watching that on and off, but when I registered, it was very important for me to finish watching that video on time. So I started doing that, trying to like watch. I watched a lot of hours and I finished it by like the next day. After that, I realized that the video just skimmed the surface, gave you a basic broad understanding of what the exam was about. So I went online and I saw people talking about Ielts list, and then I used her like my proper crash reading for this exam. I used to regret that. Why didn't I register for the next week? Who puts me inside this kind of wahala? Why did I put this kind of thing for myself? But anyway, when the results come out, I will know whether it was all worth it. So like I said before, I took the speaking exams at Ikeja at a center called Mafit. So this is where I am going to start adding the things that I wish I had seen online. Like that Mafit center, they sent me a message the next day, like from Ielts, telling that my exam was at Mafit center, which is 77, I think, Obafemi Awolowo or something way in Ikeja. I can't remember what word it was. But where Google Map took me and where the address was, they were different. Like there was nothing there like that. So I had to like research and find out the place is like, it's on that same road, but it's not where the map will take you to. It's at MAN building, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria building. That is where it is. So in case anybody comes across this video and they don't know where it is, so that's where it was. And I just went and I sat down for a bit, not knowing I was supposed to go in and then speak to someone about registering. So I went in, I registered, and I sat down to wait my turn for the exam. But I went in and there was an interviewer there. You have to come with your identification. Sorry, I've skipped something. So before you register for the exam, you need to have an international passport. You will use the passport to register for the examination. They will ask you for your passport number, your current not expired passport. So you're taking the passport for the both examinations. So I took the passport and she took it from me to just verify my identity, and we began the speaking. So the first part, she just asks you basic questions about yourself, where you live. It might not be the same for everybody. That was what she asked me, where I live and just things about me. Then she gave me a cue card to prepare for 1 minute on a topic. And my topic was about sports, and I am not a sports person. But the way sports jumped into my head, and I feel like alternatively I could have said, oh, I am not a sports person, but this and this. But somehow sports came into my head. So I speak about my favorite sports person, and I spoke about Azizat Oshoala. I just gathered all the information I knew about her in my head, and I spoke about her. And then we went on to continue talking about sports. She asked me a few questions about sports and society and all of that. It didn't take up to 15 minutes, just like they said it would, and that was the end of speaking. Now to the next day, which is the baba of everything, where you're going to be doing listening, then reading, then writing. So my center was at the Zone on the Bagada Expressway, Bagada Oshodi or Ababa Oshodi, that expressway sha. So that is where my exam was at, and they had said registration was going to start by like 7 or 7:20. So I got there quite early, and I met a lot of people there when I got there that time. But I don't think they started checking us in till like 8. We're not allowed wristwatches inside any of the examinations, both the speaking and the listening, reading, writing. So I couldn't really tell what the time was at that time, but I know that it was already quite bright, and they put those of us that wanted to write paper to one side and those of us that wanted to write with computer to the other side. And I wanted to see online before the next other thing I'm mentioning, which is, can you bring your personal effect? Because if they say don't come with your phones, don't come with anything, where will you now drop them? In that center on that day, in case things have changed though, there was someone there that took our bags from us and then tagged our bag with numbers. They will give you a copy of a paper that has that same number that is tagged on your bag, so that you can keep it and then use it to claim your bag afterwards. So don't forget again, you're supposed to take your international passport, and even though you are taking the paper-based test, you're not supposed to take any form of writing materials. Pencil, biro, eraser, nothing. Just go there as you are with your international passport. In fact, in the email they sent me, they said come with a photocopy of my international passport, which I did. And I was thinking, like, why you with a paper? I'm like, you said I should bring photocopy. They said, no, you don't need it, so dump that. So I took my international passport. You don't need a pen, you don't need anything. Just go. And if you want to drink water, you can take a bottle of water with no label. So just take a bottle of water and cut the label off, and like in a clear bottle, and that's fine. So after some time, we began to file in, and at the first point, they will check your passport, and you have to remember your candidate number. That's another thing I wasn't told. I just thought like, since you should not bring phone, we shouldn't bring anything. When I get there, you find my candidate number, but apparently we have to know it. So thank God I was with my phone, and I quickly started memorizing my candidate's number, and then they'll ask you there, what's your candidate number? I told them my candidate number, and they took my passport and they like inspected it with like a blue light, and we went to the hall. So there's already tables labeled with your name, your exam number, all of those good stuff. Everything is already there. Just sit down at your table, and there was a headset provided for us. Why I chose paper? I chose paper based because I felt like I was more comfortable writing. Like I like to just write down my thoughts as against typing. I'm fast with typing, but I just thought, oh, I didn't mind writing. And I would have expected, I would have liked for them to give us a pencil as against a pen, because gosh, I made so many mistakes. I remember it was rough. I kept trying to cancel in the most demure way but I just like draw a line across. But under that kind of tension, you just find yourself writing what is not in your head, and everything was just somehow. But let's take it, let me not jump to writing. Writing is the last one, so let's start from listening. So we're giving headsets, and they did several tests, like 3 or 4 times, to make sure that everybody could hear on the headsets. Make sure that everybody could hear. They will play a CD. Can everybody hear? If you can't hear, they will change it for you. So that was one thing, because somebody had told me that they were going to play the listening via a speaker, like everybody don't be hearing it once. I'm like, what if I don't hear? But apparently it wasn't like that. Anyway, so we did the listening test first. After they've checked that all the headsets were working properly, you listen to a part of the passage, you answer your questions in the answer booklet. They will give you an answer sheet when in the question booklet first, and then you'll be given 10 minutes after to transfer all your answers to it. So just listen properly, and I think you should be fine. I feel like listening is one of the easiest. Just write it like you hear it, basically. Write it like you hear it, follow it. Like if you realize that this information has already passed, don't try and be thinking of that, just move on, because the information is set in sequence. Like it follows the sequence of the questions. So by the time you have read the question before the audio starts playing, you will know that okay, I'm looking for this kind of thing to slot into this place. Like I'm looking for a time, I'm looking for a place, I'm looking for something. Like, you know, this is about time. So by the time you have said a time and realize that that's in as fast and you didn't grab it, just move forward. Just move ahead. No need to cry over split me. They won't play the audio again. Just keep it moving. So we did that one first, and I think that went pretty well. Again, when my results come out, I'll update this video. Next up, we went into reading. So again, before the reading, they checked our international passports again, which was very funny to me, because I'm like, maybe I'm the one that is sitting here. I didn't stand up. I didn't live here. will my passport have changed? Or will I have changed? Well, whatever, that's their procedure. So it was time for reading, and I genuinely before then thought that reading was going to give me tough time, because I'm not somebody that has a long attention span. The passages are so long, and normally if I'm reading a novel, I'm reading anything, I'm just skimming through like, okay, I get the basic gist. But this is not about getting the gist. The answer could be in the parts that you skimmed over. When you are reading for it, they will teach you the power of like skimming, but you have to skim with like sense. When I was practicing, what I realized is that I will skim through a passage. It will help me answer the first like 5 questions. Later, they will not ask you some other things based on that passage. I will not have to go back to now realize that if I just read the passage at the beginning, I will know where I'm looking for my answer. For me, though. So when I went into the exam, I decided to like just take a few minutes to actually read the passage. So I know they said you're not allowed. I know I said you are not allowed to take any watch, but they were projecting time on the board for us, so I could see like immediately they say start or you can't start. I'll write that time that was showing on the board of my paper. So I know that okay, I'll start by 10:21, and I know that okay, by the time I get in, I look on okay, 5 minutes has passed since we started or something. But you write start 20 minutes. They always tell you 20 minutes, so I think 40 minutes to 20 minutes, 10 and 5 minutes to the end, something like that. But they always remind you of the time. So in the reading, I read it, and there are just some passages that I'm like, are you sure the answer is inside here? Again, my results will tell. But I read the passage and I answered the question. So just yes, yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. Which of these headings summarize or is a summary of like that part of the passage? What did the writer say exactly? Fill in the blanks, all of that kind of stuff. But I was just happy the passages that came out for me were not as hard as the ones I was practicing. Because once I was practicing, they already gave me a serious scale. So reading went okay, and your reading, you have to write your answer in your answer sheet immediately. Not that I write in the booklet. I wrote in the booklet first, then I transferred it. That's where my mistake now came in. I didn't know the answer to like maybe like number 5, so I was like, okay, I'll come back to it and I'll move on. But when I was transferring to the answer sheet, I didn't leave the space for number 5. I started writing number 6 and number 5 and like that before I realized that, oh my god, I've made a mistake. But alas, we were using biro. I had to cancel and start answer sheet. I just hope they are not using weakness to mark it. Anyway, so I think that's basically all I can say about reading. It wasn't terrible. Yeah. So next up we have writing. For writing, I wrote academic, and for academic you're going to do 1 report and 1 essay. For a report, you're going to like report on something. They either give you a diagram, you write a report on it, a bar chart, pie chart, flow chart, whatever kind of chart, you report on it, and then you write an essay on like a topic they'll give you. While for the people that write in general, you're going to write a letter and an essay. But I wrote a report. So for me, I had a table and 2 bar charts in my own. I'm like, 3 things. But thank God for Ielts. She has given me like a kind of idea of how to answer those kind of questions. I supposed to take 20 minutes in your first part and 40 minutes second part, but they're not sharing it for you. They'll give you 1 hour from the front. So how you choose to do your time management is up to you. But again, they'll tell you when it's 20 minutes into the time, 40 minutes to the end, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, all of that stuff. So I wrote that one, again, a lot of mistakes and counseling. Second one, they asked me about if children should be allowed to play outside school as against more rigid activities like extracurricular like lessons and all of that kind of stuff. But just write about it. Because at times I was practicing the night before. It was the night before I realized I spent all my time practicing reading, and I did not see how much writing was important. Like I didn't practice my writing a lot, so it really stressed me. But again, we wait for the result, and I cancelled a lot in my writing. The teacher did not spend so and erase, so I can like erase and rewrite what I want to write, you know. And when you need to add something, maybe you forgot you know, your brain, your hand can be writing faster than your brain. Like you just realize that, oh, you didn't write this word, and you're thinking it. You not put that like inverted V and like write it on top of whatever. So that was it about writing. And again, before you start writing, they look at your passport yet again with the blue light. I'm like, will I have brought fake passport now? I didn't stand up from here. But again, whatever. So they collect your results very orderly. They collect all the sheets, row by row by row by row, or columns rather, column by column. And you have to know column, row, position, vertical, horizontal, all those things. You just need to say it randomly before. Better go and know it now, because I was in that the 5th column, and the next man said, "Oh, you can leave column by column." I'm like, row by row, I know which one be that one. But eventually, I figured that I was talking about just like, those things can just be confusing. There's even a thread on Twitter recently, someone saying columns and row can be confusing. Now, honestly, yes. Even in my listening, there was a question where the lady and the guy, they were discussing about labeling a diagram, and they was like, "Oh, is it the one that runs horizontally?" I'm like, if you don't know horizontal, anyway. So yes, just know your position is very, very important. And yeah, let me see whether there's any other thing I'm missing. I feel like when I was preparing to do this video, I had so much more to say, but a lot, like 1 week has passed since I wrote it. So my results should be out on the 29th, and then I will come and update you guys on what I got. So, ciao. The results are in. So actually, they sent us a link to view the results yesterday already on the portal that you used to register. So I've already seen my results yesterday, and they announced to us after the exams that they gave us like exact dates that we could come and pick up our results. But I just wanted to wait for the link to come out before I go and pick it up, and they sent it like sometime late morning, so I couldn't start going to Ikoyi. So I picked results from British Council at Ikoyi. You don't need anything, just take your international passport with you, and yeah, and know your those numbers that they will give you when you register. So now to the results. I did very, very well. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, I had 9 in listening. 40. I got everything. I told my mother that she's always saying I used to hear what. Can see now that I have paper to prove that I too they hear. I got 8.5 in reading, 7.5 in speaking. And I thought I do speak well, but whatever. And I got 7.5 in writing. So overall band score is 8.0. I'm so proud of myself for like 3 days of actual reading and maybe 1 week of like play reading. This is good. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. Bye.